This week's tip is going to be about another kind of scam. Hi, it's me, Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned. We're going to have a little conversation with Officer Joel Quattlebaum from the Largo Police Department about some other scams that you should be well aware of for yourself and your loved one. So what is this romance scam?
We see it all the time, Linda. So the romance scam it's essentially, you see a lot of times coming from an online platform. Individuals, they can be on some of these online dating platforms. Always be cautious of any requests that you get, okay? Because a lot of times what they're trying to do is either they want your information or they want some type of payment, okay? They're trying to get money. So how do you know it's a romance scam?
Right.
I mean, what are some of the indicators?
Okay.
I'm going to tell you a funny story.
All right.
So we had a call, and fortunately we caught it in time before any money was sent. But the lady had gotten a solicitation request. She was on an online dating platform, and a gentleman who was stuck on a ship.
They're all stuck on a ship.
Stuck on a ship, but wanted to come to the United States, wanted to meet her and go out on a date and whatnot. The ship was broken. He needed parts for the ship. So he needed money to fix the parts on the ship. So the story just kept getting more and more elaborate and
elaborate. And we can giggle, but she's in love. Somebody's paying attention to her.
And that's the important part, is that, look at these scams. We call these, when you have that empathy and that rapport that gets built over time, you really have to watch out. We call them an affinity scam. So as much as it's the romantic engagement, you have to look at, what does the person want? What is their overarching objective that they're trying to get from you? Is it your information, or is it your money? Or is it both?
Right.
There's always that option too. They are going to try and build that connection over time. What I see, and probably the most challenging part, is you have individuals that don't have contact with their family or friends.
Right.
Okay, that isolation is very huge.
Or they don't want to tell them I'm on a dating site.
Yeah. There's always that part too. You have to be cognizant that this is a person who, they're looking for connection, right? And they're looking for that companionship. So how can they do that safely? Having conversations and being in communication is absolutely crucial, especially with these, because they sneak in there, right? Because they start having these casual conversations and communications. Next thing you know, this individual that went from a complete stranger is now becoming a very involved party in your loved one's life.
I want to talk to him every day.
Every day, and they're getting conversations, morning, noon, and night. For the scammer, it's an investment strategy.
Yeah.
Their long run is they're trying to get money or information, so that way they can get credit in your name. So it is challenging.
And people do that for thousands and thousands of dollars.
They do. And here's the thing is it's easy to get drawn into it, because at first you think, okay, this is somebody who wants contact with me. We're connecting. We're talking regularly.
Friend.
Yeah. You go from that total stranger to friend to companion, and next thing you know, you're having more contact with that person than family or people, your neighbors around you.
And I just want to meet him so bad.
Yeah. And it's not.
And just all these things happen though that I have to send him money for because.
And it's not uncommon that they'll try and drive you away from your family or your friends, because they want that soul connection with you. They don't want you talking with other people about what you're communicating about getting money or your information.
I mean, people have given away everything they have, haven't they?
Yeah, and here's
it's frightening.
You see people that are trying to find housing now because all their money's been sent to the scammers.
Yeah.
And it's, when you hear a story like, the person's on a boat, they're on a ship, you're like, how could that happen? It does. I tell you, when we got that call, just talking with her, that was a win for that day, because if that money had been sent, it would have been devastating.
Yeah.
And in the end, she's like, how could this have happened? And the answer is, it can happen to anybody. It doesn't have to be a senior. It could be anybody.
All right, so I want to go one further.
Yeah.
When it happens, tell people.
Yeah. That's
because I'm embarrassed to tell anybody that I got scammed. But you need to tell people.
You have to.
You need to share it with them so it doesn't happen again and it doesn't happen to somebody else.
Linda, whenever I go out and I do a presentation, I talk about frauds and scams ad nauseum, because we see it all the time. Okay, and it can be absolutely devastating, and that's why getting ahead of it is huge. Because once that money gets transferred to foreign banks, offshore accounts, the money is gone. The money is very much gone. It's very difficult for law enforcement to prosecute, because it's way beyond our jurisdiction borders. So how do we get ahead of it? The answer is communication. Yeah. And when it does happen, let people know, because they are just as susceptible as you. We're all human beings, and everybody looks for that connection. The scammers know how to target it, though.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Yeah,
You know,
and we need to know our loved ones. We really need to know what's going on with our loved ones. I can't just go visit mom once a week and bring some groceries over or whatever. I need to spend some time there to see what she's going through, how she's feeling, because she just may be very vulnerable to these kind of things. But if I have that conversation with her, hopefully there's a chance that that won't happen.
Absolutely. And the other thing, too, is actually report it. You know, have it documented, have it reported with law enforcement. Anytime that there's a breach of what we call PII, personally identifiable information, or if there's a financial transaction that's occurred, money's been sent, have it documented. Have a report taken, because that way you can always go back and say, this date, this time, okay? And you have that record. People get targeted all the time. It's those that don't say anything about it and that, you know, keep it to themselves. They're the ones that are more susceptible for retargeting, because it was never, you know, it was never discussed with family or friends, and so when it happens again, you know, they're just, I don't want to bring it up because then it's going to uncover this whole history of prior occurrences. So talk about it. It's not easy always, but it's something that you're helping yourself heal and you're helping others too.
And it's not easy to talk about now, but it's much easier than talking about it later.
Yeah. So. You know, when it happens, talk about it. That's the biggest thing you could do.
Thanks, Joel.
You're welcome.
Tune in next Tuesday for another tip sponsored by Arden Courts, where all they do is memory care, and have a delicious day.